Alright everybody, welcome to this Planet Zoo Let's Get Gooder franchise series where we're gonna play some Planet Zoo franchise um, and try to get better at this game in terms of building, in terms of mechanics, managing your franchise zoo, and it's gonna be a learning experience for me, but hopefully I can also teach you guys a bit about the game, some tips and tricks for your franchise. So without further ado, let's get into the first steps of setting up your franchise zoo. So what I've done so far is put in the first little animal, the raccoons that we saw earlier, put in the very basic stuff buildings and one little drink shop for your guests. Technically you wouldn't even need this, but yeah, maybe a first one is nice to have. So what we want to do to start out with is have a first nice starting animal. And don't put like a big carnivore in here first because yeah, you wouldn't see that in a normal zoo. But also it's gonna require a lot of food, pricey food, and we don't have a lot of money at the start. Um, then we have our staff buildings and the entrance buildings, of course. And one of the nice things about the entrance building is that if you look at the power area, you can see that it provides power for the starting area. So put your facilities and your first buildings in this area because that means we don't have to pay money for a generator or later a solar panel or a wind turbine, of course. Um, so let's go over these staff buildings. The first one you'll need is your trade center, of course, because otherwise you can't get an animal in. The second one is your keeper hut. Third one, your staff room. This is enough to get your animal into your zoo. I've also added the workshop because we need it for the mechanic to be able to fix the habitats, fix the drink stand, and that means we can also start some mechanic research. For now, I've put it at the power sources so we can get to the solar power panels and the wind turbines first. Then let's get to the stuff. The ones that I've put in so far is keeper, the mechanics, the caretakers, and the vendor. And what you can see is that I've put their salaries down. If you compare it to this, I put it in new zookeeper, for example, you see that it's set at 1100 instead of 1150. A nice way to save some money at the start is to drop this down. You can use the arrows, or you can go to your keeper, change it here, of course. You can see that 1150 is the nice boundary to start with, to keep your keeper happy, but also to not spend a lot of money. We can fire it for now. We don't need it. We only need one. Don't put a lot of keepers in if you only have one animal or two animals, because again, just to save money. Same thing we can do with a mechanic. And then we have the caretaker. And here you can see it's set nice at the boundary. But what happens if we put another caretaker in? See that this guy's salary is at 230. So I've changed it. And if you go in here, you click it, or you use the up and down arrows here, you can see that, yeah, it doesn't work. It's not nicely at the boundary. But you can just type in the appropriate money here to get it to the exact level. And now you can see it's nice and flat. It only saves $5, but hey, $5 is $5. And for now, we're in easy mode, so we don't have to be that careful with the money and with the salaries. But if you're playing hard difficulty, or if you're doing one of the career scenarios or the time scenarios, you might want to save all the money that you can. So yeah, that's the very basics that you need to set up your franchise zoo. So the next thing I want to do is talk a bit about the plans for this series in this franchise zoo. We have a nice entrance area here, but what I want to do is have kind of a modern zoo, but mix it in with different styles, some old buildings, some themed areas to really explore the game and get familiar with all the building styles, the building materials that we have in this amazing game, and then get a bit better at the building. Yeah, that basically means that the main style is going to be modern. I really like that style. I like experimenting with building shapes and those kind of things in that style. So that will be the main theme of this zoo. We'll have a nice entrance plaza here, but the main entrance is going to be behind it. So we have like our starter animal, maybe like a restaurant, and maybe like a petting zoo behind it, like an older style. As if this started out here and then the zoo was built in after. Yeah, we're going to have a nice big modern entrance building here with a gift shop, the gates, and like a building with some facilities, maybe some staff rooms. and some offices or something, and then have our really bigger starting animal in the zoo right after that, of course. And one of the things I want to do in this franchise series is explore all the different aspects of the game. So that also means that we're gonna experiment with terrains, with different kind of paths a lot. But yeah, I don't want to keep this a flat zoo. I want to put in hills and mountains or valleys and rivers, all those kind of things to really explain all the aspect that this game has to offer. So yeah, hopefully we can learn a lot about it and start with the zoo. And for now, I'll start about making some of the layout and then I'll get right back to you. Alright, welcome back. As you can see, we've added some parts. In addition to the raccoon habitat and the basic facilities, we now also have the layout for the main entrance building on this right side, and we have the layout for the gift shop area on the left side. We have the nice signs in there to indicate what it is. Yeah, we don't have all the signs yet to put text there, unfortunately. We'll get that soon. And then we have our main animal that we see when we enter the zoo. And what we're going to go with is the flamingos. I know it's an animal that a lot of people use. It's also a very common animal to start with at a zoo. But also in this case, yeah, I thought it was a nice animal to start. It suits a combination of water with some land. So yeah, I really doubted if I wanted to put in an extra or more special animal, I would say. But I think the flamingos is a nice way to start. Also when you enter a chaotic zoo entrance square, where you're going to be looking for all the information, facilities, maybe go to the toilet or those kind of things. So yeah, we have the flamingos, and then we started with some of the terrain around it, and with the double layer water, and already increase the height a bit so that we end block the view, so we don't see the whole zoo in the middle at the same time, and also already get rid of the just flat zoo type. And on this right side, you can go further into the zoo, and on the left side as well. And perhaps we'll have some nice starter animal here on the side as well. But it's already to break up the terrain, get up to the elevation, and start really making it a lively zoo. So today we've looked at the basic setup for a franchise zoo. We've put in our first animal, we've put in the first facilities, the staff facilities, hired our first staff, and we put down the layout for the real main zoo entrance area and the second animal, which is going to be the flamingos. I hope you enjoyed it so far, and see you guys next time.